I hope you didn't forget your gambling coins and your chips, as we're heading for the casinos, because we're on a roll in Pachi Pachi on a roll on the PlayStation Vita. Now, as usual, I get physical versions of mini games, and this is none less another physical. Now, it is important to note that it's only physical on the Vita. It was a PlayAsia exclusive that is sold out. So we'll get into that down when we talk about pricing and stuff. But I would like to mention it's also on the Nintendo Switch, though I heard there was a critical bug in that one, though I don't know if that's been fixed. It was just something that came up in research. It's also on the PlayStation 4 and on PC, and listed as available on Xbox One through the developers. However, upon looking for it on the Microsoft Store net, I can find no existence or mention of this game. So I don't know if that's like coming out soon. I couldn't find like a release date for it on Xbox One, so I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, let's get into it. So this is a pachinko game. Now, I've never personally played pachinko ever in my life, so this is really my first time ever playing a pachinko-esque type game. Now, there is like a story for this game, but it's really just incredibly shallow. It's not even in the game itself, it's just in the advertisement. Or if you get this physical version of the game, it's in the little booklet that you amazingly get in the Vita cartridge case. I mean, it's like, holy crap, there's an actual booklet? You don't see those too often. And of course, if you get the physical version, there is an alternate cover art, but it's nothing too crazy on that front. But anyway, getting to the game. So if you don't know how pachinko works, you basically make a ball fall, it hits a bunch of pegs, and you get points, or you're trying to get to a certain place on the board. So this has 4 boards, and you have to either complete all the missions or get a certain high score on the current board you're on to progress to the next board. Now, each board has a theme. The first one's themed after a casino, second one after a western theme, the third one is a space theme, and the last one is a medieval theme. And I would say the first 2 are pretty basic in pachinko. The third one has a bit of a twist to how its pachinko mechanics work, and the last one, in my opinion, is absolutely awful in how it's designed, but we'll get in about that. So let's start off just talking about the concepts of how the game works. So, there's 2 main draws for this game. Pachinko and, well, let's be honest, anime women. But, I mean, I'm sure you can see the artwork, and you can see that that is the bait for this game. Now, when you start a board, though, it does work like a pachinko. You have an arm that it basically bounces between left and right. You choose a moment when you want the ball to be let go, and you see its fate on hitting the different pegs in that. Now, there are a few different types of pegs and things that the ball can interact with on each board, but things that carry on from all 4 boards are you have the basic pings for the ball to hit that you get points off. But then you also have the heart pings. So the little heart pings, you have to hit 4 times. And once they'll hit 4 times, they will affect the clothing on the 2 women in each stage. Now, I did say there is a story, and the story is that these 2 ladies want to win all the banks poor. So they're targeting the casinos, and they're going with their money to go win it all. And make the banks poor. As I said, it's only told through the context of advertising in the little booklet that came with the Vita version. It has no existence in the game itself. It's not told to you at all in the game. Now, each stage has some bumpers and things you can interact with that can get you some extra points, and there are also lights on the bottom of the stage that if you trigger all the lights, have a ball fall in it, it'll give you like some fanfare that you have to wait for the fanfare to stop, and you'll get some bonus points for getting all the lights lit up. Now, as you progress with your points, you'll cause a level up bonus, which will allow you to earn more points as it hits the different pings and stuff. On top of that, there are little alcoholic beverages, or maybe we could just call them lemonade. Can we just do the how about milk? That's a popular censored word for Japan games, right? Milk? Anyway. There are beverages down near the bottom of the screen as well that your ball can hit. They get randomly thrown about the board every turn of the ball, so they'll move about every single time. Now, each board has a unique mechanic to it. Like, the casino one has a slot machine in the middle. If the ball goes into it, the gal will give it a pull, and you'll get a chance of winning some extra points through the slot machine. Or you might get jack shit and get screwed. And that can happen. The Western one has actually a little train that will activate on the bomb screen after you do a few things on the board. And if you fill up the 3 booths of the train in the driver gets one of the balls, it'll activate the safe game that's basically Breakout, and you're just trying to get all the gold. I did experience a bug in this Breakout game where the ball went into the back and it kept hitting left and right, and I literally left it there for like 5 minutes and it never changed course, and I had to restart the game. That's the only time it happened. That was the only bug I really experienced in the game. So in the sci-fi space one, if you destroy all the saucers on the board, you'll activate this pinball game. Now, I mentioned there was a bug in the Switch version when I researched about this game, and I don't know if it's been fixed. It might have been fixed because apparently this game came out digitally last year on the Switch, so it's been out for a while on the Switch. I would hope it's fixed, but I don't know. Many of the reviews are outdated, but something I saw on a lot of review informational type things or Q&A forum posts and that is that the pinball minigame in the Spaceboard is bugged. So keep that in mind if you go for the Switch version. And in the medieval stage, which is really awful in my opinion, it has these like green bush stuff that disappears as your ball hits it on the top screen, and there's almost virtually no pegs in the stage. It's mostly covered in the heart pegs and these weird hands that basically just destroy your ball if they fall into it while it's open, and it just crushes it and ends that ball's round of getting points. Its minigame summons this weird Cthulhu monster on this platform, and you shoot cannonballs and try to destroy each segment of the platform. On top of that, something that's in all the stages also is the mission system. Now, as I mentioned, to get a new board, you have to complete all the missions or get a certain high score. Now, how the missions work is you get 4 missions listed on the left side of each board when you start, and you can also see how many balls you start with, 50 of them, on the bottom left as well. You can get extra balls by completing missions. Now, the missions, there's no way to, like, examine the mission, like, for it to, like, get further details on what it wants you to do or anything. So you kind of have to just figure out what it means by the image on the card. So once you get a little familiar with the game, you should likely understand most of them, but you might have to fiddle around to realize what it wants you to do for some of them. Like, on the current one I'm looking at now, there's get 5 of the heart pegs, get the ball into each of the 3 different little slot arrow machines, get a high score of 50,000, and get 2 into the slot machine. Was that 3? No, that's 2 times. But the mission system is primarily how you going to prolong the game, because that's your only way of getting extra balls in the game. And each mission gives you different amounts. Some will give you just a few, 4 or 5, while others might give you a big 10 or 15. I find in the medieval one that because it's so easy to get your ball destroyed, it actually gives you a lot of balls for most of the missions in the medieval one. But primarily, you're just going to be trying to get for the high score, complete all the missions. But outside Pachinko, as I said, really the general draw I would imagine most people will have with the game is the undressing mechanic of undressing the 2 female thieves trying to quote-unquote rob these banks of all their bank. It's Pachinko. It's not really much to say. If anything, I'd have to say the 2 anime girls are really the only highlight for the game. Like, graphically, everything else is pretty subpar. And the music, like, the only thing the music has is the catchy On the Wall theme on the main menu. Outside of that, if you look on the About page, it actually tells you the rest of the music is just free music they put in the game. And that blows my mind because this game for the Vita version got a soundtrack that has 5 songs, the main menu and the song that plays for each of the 4 stages. The music's not special, and the anime women obviously have to be your cup of taste. The, how should we say, very, very healthy ladies in certain locations. Obviously, if that's not your cup of tea, there's really nothing else this game is offering outside of getting a high score. And there is a leaderboard option on the Vita. From what I heard in posts and videos when researching about this game, apparently the Switch version doesn't have a leaderboard option. Now, I would like to know, I think there's something horribly wrong with the leaderboard option on the Vita, though. Because it only recognizes my high score on the 4th stage, and I can't see any leaderboards for stage 2, 3, or 4, even though I have 2 higher scores on 2 of the other stages. So, and I've hit, like, every button to see if there's, like, a scrolling option to go, like, you know, filter through the different stages, and as far as I can tell, there's not, so I don't know if there's something really bugged about it, or if it only keeps the score for the 4th stage on the leaderboard. I'm not quite sure. I'm a little confused on that. Overall, it's Pachinko, like I said. It's Pachinko with women losing their clothing. Now, being on consoles, obviously there is no nudity. They just get very skimpy, which I won't be showing in this review, obviously, for, you know, obvious reasons. However, I would note, though, if this game is interesting to you, you probably would want to check out the PC version of this game, because the PC version, called Pachi Pachi on a Wall Unleashed, is the same price as it digitally on consoles, and it's uncensored. You know what I mean. So, if this game actually does interest you, that's probably the better route to go, though, honestly. But it's Pachinko. You get a high score, you can see what you can do. I think the first 2 stages were okay. It's basically a time waster game. I don't really want to shit on the developer, but, you know, it's Pachinko. I'm a JRPG type of person, so, The 2 ladies are animated nicely, if you don't mind them having, you know, rather exaggerated assets. But outside of that, like I said, the other graphics and presentation are pretty subpar. This is like a cheaper recommendation, time waster kind of thing. Now, unless you're really into Pachinko, I would just say this is a strong shelfware type pass, unless you're looking for something to kill some time, which, like I said, it's on the Vita and the Switch, so it has the portability there. But you could also just dump it on a laptop, PC-wise, if you have a laptop. Don't know if it's compatible with like tablets or anything in that front. You'd have to look in that front on your own. But I would say this is really a big pass. It's, like I said, the only real appeal is the two anime girls who each have 4 outfits, an outfit for each of the 4 stages, and that's really it. It's a pretty big pass. And like I said, if you do find it interesting, you're better off getting it on PC. Now, let's talk about, of course, the value and, well, I guess maybe first talk about spoilers. There is no spoilers. As I said, there's no ending. Okay, there we go. So the value. What would I price this game? I only experienced one bug, and like I said, it was in the breakout minigame in the Western game. I had to restart the game for that. Outside that, and that was actually shitty too, because I actually completed all the missions to unlock the next stage, and apparently the game doesn't register saving unlocking until the stage is over, so I had to redo the Western stage to get the sci-fi one we unlocked. Now, on the Switch, I heard, like I said, the pinball minigame and the UFO one is bugged, I heard. I don't know if it's been patched. Even if it hasn't, it isn't necessary to beat the board, but it does hamper, obviously, building up a high score. But you only have to unlock the minigame as one of the missions if you want to complete all the missions, so it's not game-breaking, but it does put the high score a bit. I don't like how the medieval map was designed. Like I said, it's only basically has hot pegs and all these hands that destroy your balls. So I really didn't like how it was designed, and it really left a sour ending to the game. Because it starts off a little okay, you know, it's just a simple time-wasty kind of experience. But what would I value-wise give this game? A very cheap $3. I would give it, and that's probably being generous. Most people would say $2 probably. Mind you, that price tag is for the console versions. If we're going to go and also attach a price to the uncensored Unleashed version on PC, I guess maybe $4, just because, I guess. I guess to be a little kind for uncensoredness, but this is a cheapo game. Now, if you're going digitally, it is cheap. It is $6.99 on all platforms, on the eShop, on PlayStation, on the website that hosts the PC version, which also to note is DRM free. It is not attached to any type of DRM like Steam or any other weird annoying ass DRM. It is DRM free, so just throw that out. I'm not going to share where to get it, though. You'll have to look it up on your own time. I think it's pretty reasonable on why I can't link it. So, you'll have to look for it on your own. It's not hard to fight. Not hard to fight. It's not hard to find. Just Pachi Pachi on the Wall Unleashed. Pretty easy to find. But they're all the same price. $6.99. It's a little bit more than what I would price it, because it's a very simplistic game, and that like the most work, like I said, went into the 2 anime ladies, which some of them do have some nice outfits in that, but I mean everything else is just a pretty mediocre, functioning but mediocre design, and it's just a bit eh. And like I said, the last stage is garbage in my opinion. It's like I think something that I would have recommended for the game. Now, I'm not familiar with video game pachinko machines, simulations of pachinko machines, so maybe this is just not something that pachinko games do, but I think something that could have been a little interesting is maybe have an option, like if you ever play like video game pinball games where you can like rattle the machine. I think that would have been maybe some kind of interesting option to add a little more strategy in how the ball moves, because honestly I find the physics are pretty samey. Usually dropping the ball in the same place gets a lot of similar results. It doesn't really have too much crazy variation. So if you're really good at dropping the ball in the exact same place over and over, I found it's pretty accurate in just repeating the same effect. So it makes unlocking the outfits pretty easy, but it's, you know, same $6.99, basically $7, you know, a bit overpriced. So kind of up to you if it's worth that. Like I said, if you're going to buy it, likely just better to get the PC version for uncensored. But if you're a collector and you want physically and you don't care about being uncensored, and you want this Vita version, which, like I said, is the only physical version of this game, well, you're probably going to be up a creek's paddle, or you better go buy it now. The game launched for $34.99 on PlayAsia when it was available. As I mentioned, it's sold out, and I'm pretty sure the 2 anime girls are the only reason it's sold out. And there are actually only a few listed on eBay right now. There's only 6 listings for it on eBay, which is really bizarre because a lot of PlayAsia's Vita versions have been massively listed on eBay by scalpers. But there definitely are scalpers up there. There are 2 for $100, 1 for $88.50, and then there are 2 for $49.99. So if you're really interested in a physical version, you probably want to try for one of those $49.99s that are out there with free shipping. Because this game, while it's pretty basically insanely overpriced to get physically, is likely going to go up in price from Dreamcast effect. So, this is a game definitely I would really recommend tracking down physically, honestly. The physical goods are pretty poor. They didn't even use really any of the artwork I even liked for any of the physical goods, really. And like I said, the soundtrack, it only has 5 songs, and 4 of them are just free tracks they got from some place of that. So, it's pretty, It's pretty, I mean, the only nice thing, I guess, is the manual shows some of the unlockable gallery art you can get on the main menu inside the booklet, but it's pretty small quality in that. I do like some of the artwork they made for the goals, and actually, one of the effects, I will give them some credit on one of the effects, the bonus level up effect, where it pops up these effects in 2 little chibi versions of the 2 females. I actually like that effect. It's very nice. It's a little naughty-ish looking, but it's a nice little effect of that. But overall, that's really all I have to say about this game. It's a pretty throwaway title. I would go with the PC version if you're gonna get it digitally, because you get all of the I'm getting tongue twisted here. You get all of the content in that version with no censorship. But if you do want censored, then, you know, you can get it on consoles digitally. $7 is pretty cheap, but personally I would wait for a sale if you really want to check out this game. Don't really know anything about the PS4 version other than it is on PS4. The only thing I heard bug-wise, like I said, was on the Switch version's pinball, so I don't know if there were any bug issues on the PS4 version. I would imagine the PS4 version is pretty similar to the Vita one, I would imagine, because I don't know why you would make it too drastically different when, you know, they're on the same online store. Just, you know, one system's a little beefier than the other one, so. But, yep, that's it. If you have any questions about this game, feel free to leave a comment down below, and if not, then, well, feel free to leave a dislike, and don't feel guilty at all, because there wasn't really much to say about this game, really. It's pretty mediocre, honestly, which is a little bit of a shame, because I do have to say the presentation of the anime goals is nice, but boobs don't make a game. That's just the truth, sadly. That's just the truth, sadly. You need a little more substance than just having sexy ladies, and that's basically where the line's drawn for this game. So, anyway, be careful gambling out there, because they'll just take all your money. Be careful out there at the Proving Grounds Casino. Until next time.